Hey everybody, and welcome to Comics from the Future. I'm Andy.
I'm Matt.
We're here with Infinity Flux Comics out of Chattanooga, Tennessee, and this is our big show where we show you some of the biggest and best books that are coming out in a few weeks, but you can place your pre-orders for them right now. Your pre-orders are due Sunday around 6 o'clock, so you don't miss out on any of the comic goodness, but you got to get that head start. So when the books come out, they're there, they're waiting for you, because you never know what might get sold out. And we've got some big and interesting ones to talk about this week.
Some good stuff.
That, you might want to pay close attention to. So let's get into it. And we're going to start off with our featured comics. And a big one.
Batman and Robin, Year 1, Number 1. Now, this is going to be, I think, a 12-issue series, I believe.
Sounds right.
This is written by Mark Waid with art by Chris Samney. The dynamic duo of comic creators is back. You know, we had they were great on Daredevil. They had a great run of Captain America.
Black Widow for a little bit.
Yeah, Black Widow was really cool. And now they're back for a new tale of Batman and Robin in the early days. So in this story, this takes place right when Bruce Wayne has just adopted Dick Grayson after Dick lost his parents. And they do say adopted. So I wonder if this is a little bit of, back in the day, he was just his ward.
Yeah.
But today, that's a little weird. So it's like, oh, he's just going to go ahead and adopt him, I guess. But while all that's happening, a mysterious new crime boss called the General comes to Gotham City with
cheap car insurance.
right. That's his whole thing. He's like, I'm gonna make everybody save money.
It's a penguin. Yeah. I've seen the commercials.
But he comes to Gotham City because he wants to take it over by destroying all of the other crime families there, and he has some connection to Two-Face, but we don't know what that is yet. So Batman and his new sidekick Robin, they are going to try to find out who this guy is and what his deal is, but they're also going to have to acclimate to being father and son while also being the dynamic duo. So I cannot wait. They released some preview pages for this online. Do we have the preview copy yet? Oh, we do? Okay. Yeah, so we're going to take a look at this one early. Have you already looked at it?
I have not. This one I definitely want to I don't want to skim through. I want to enjoy.
Yeah, for sure. So this is going to be great. Just a new tale of Batman and Robin in the early days by a fantastic creative team.
Hopefully this is a big start because they did so many different ones at Marvel. I would love to see then a Superman.
Yeah.
Do a bunch of the different characters with the creative team Mark Waid and Chris Samney.
Yeah, that would be great. All right, so this is our A cover by Chris Samney. There is a Mikkel Janin variant, a nice homage cover there, and then a Matteo Scalera variant, which also looks really cool.
That.
Yeah.
Next up, we have Spider-Boy number 12. And why are we highlighting a number 12? Well, this is a big issue for Spider-Boy. For one thing, he is, he's a spider character, but he was really trained by Daredevil. If you go back and read the series, and it looks like he's going to become Daredevil's new sidekick in this. But what is the big thing about this issue? This is your all-new Spider-Girl premieres, and we were talking before this. You have a little hint about who this might be, but what is her relation to Bullseye? There's your Daredevil connection right there.
Yeah.
We'll have to find out, but yes, this is going to be a first appearance of a new Spider-Girl, and it's been a while since, we've had a young Spider-Girl. A lot of the previous ones have grown up with Aranya and a lot of those, so let's check out who this is. And of course, there's a bunch of covers that have this new one. So we have the Elizabeth Torque variant, which I like has a bit of his the sneakers, the kind of the streetwear mixed with the spider.
Yeah, I definitely like this suit. It's very fitting. Not fitting, but it fits the character and it looks cool.
She also looks young, which I like about Spider-Boy is he's a younger character. He's not the teen or anything. So we've got the Torque variant. We've got an Edwin Gallman Dr. Doom variant. We've also got a Mark Bagley variant, which is really cool. Yeah. See, that Spider-Man's costume's too tight. I would be swinging around in sweatpants or track pants.
Oh, yeah, definitely.
Seems way better. Then we also have a Michael Cho variant and a Vincentini Stormbreakers variant with a little storm.
Just a little storm. Doesn't last long.
Yeah, just a little shower.
Next up is Come Find Me, an autumnal offering. This is I was gonna say number one, but this is actually just a one shot from Distillery. This is written by Becky Cloonan and others because this is a 56 page one shot, kind of a spooky anthology book, which is really cool. There's several of those out right now, and I love them all, and I cannot wait to try this one out. So, like I said, several stories by several different creators. Becky Cloonan's story is about a thief who removes two coins that are resting on the eyes of a corpse. But when that thief does that, it causes a sinister curse to erupt. I don't know if it's on everybody or just on the thief. So we'll have to see what kind of curse that ends up being. There's also a chilling tale. I have to just read this one. A chilling tale of a musical demon who makes Faustian pacts with unsuspecting victims, creating minor key symphonies of human pain. That sounds delightful. And then I imagine there's going to be a few others as well. Plus, this is going to give us a first look at Becky Cloonan's next Distillery series as well. So, and this comes out on October 30th. So, right in time. Grab this on October 30th. Read it that night because that's right at the peak of spooky season. Yep. Don't read it on November 1st because it won't have as much of an impact. So we have this A cover right here by Becky Cloonan. There is a Hamlet Machine variant, and there is a Tula Lotte variant, which looks very creepy.
Her co-artist and co-writer from their first series, from Somna. So, yeah. Next up, we have a new book from Boom called Vicarious. And now, after reading about this, I understand the title. This is going to be by Ryan Parrott, and the art is by Eleonora Carlini. And it sounds really cool. So it's described tonally. You can kind of get this from the cover. A neon noir story, a psychological thriller, all kind of that kind of thing. When we have our character named Justin, he's a 20-something who's kind of aimless in life, just kind of living day by day, but who hungers for more human connection and excitement. But a chance encounter with someone opens an opportunity up for him that I think a lot of people, it sounds like in this, don't know about. It's kind of an elite thing where there is a technology about where you can do crazy things. You can skydive, you can go to a rave, you can all this kind of stuff, and you're known as a proxy. And then rich people can buy those experiences or kind of stream them, and they get all of the sight, sounds, and sensations right from the comfort of their own homes. So Justin decides to become one of these proxies and definitely gives some excitement to his life. But does he have what it takes in this seductive new world of risk taking and all of that? So it sounds really cool. I read like a whole interview with Ryan Parrott about it, where he kind of went in more depth about what this is all about the kind of the streaming aspect of it, and it sounds really, really cool. So if you're looking for a new high adrenaline, he said this is a sexier story than he's ever written.
Okay.
It sounds like it's just kind of like a high octane crank type series.
Well, what's interesting about this story too is there was a story very similar to this in the first issue of EC's Cruel Adventures, the sci-fi book. There was a story, it's just a short story, and I don't know who wrote it. It may have been Ryan Parrott, but it was the same thing. There was this old guy who couldn't really move, and there was another guy who would like go do stuff, and then he would plug in something into his brain, and then that would feed into the other guys. And the ending of that was really cool, kind of touching a little bit. So it sounds when we first started talking about this, I was like, that sounds familiar.
Yeah.
But it wasn't quite the same, but it was the same idea about somebody can do something and then feed those experiences to somebody else. So.
Yeah, it's a really cool idea, and I'm excited to check this out. So we've got our A cover here by Dan Panosian, and we also have a Murakami variant as well. Which, I mean, the description of everything, you don't get a whole lot of like sinister undertones of like, oh, and he goes and he does these things and it's great and he loves it. No, it's like, I wonder what the twist is going to be.
It might be that, it's like, oh, the things that he is told to do gets more and more extreme to the point where he's like, I don't know if I can do this.
Yeah.
Maybe. Next up is the Carlyle School for Kings, #1. This is written by Nelson Greaves, and the art is by David Castelluccio. And in this one, it says that for thousands of years, the Carlyle School for Kings has opened its doors to the best and brightest young people in the kingdom. They are trained in matters of the heart, matters of strength and mind. And the one who is deemed most exceptional will be crowned king for the next 30 years until the whole king cycle repeats. And, they do it all over again. Well, this is about a young girl named Emmeline Heron. She is the daughter of traitors. I guess like traitors to the kingdom, or traitors to something. Bad. Well, I don't want to say they're bad people because maybe they were traitorous for a good reason. But she is accepted to the school despite the fact that she is daughter to traitors. She's accepted in, and it says something about you know they they chose the wrong girl or something. So it sounds like it's this prim and proper school getting everybody ready to be a king potentially, and then in comes this girl, and she just she's not having any of it. It sounds like. So it sounds really cool. Kind of reminds me of. Sort of kind of like Harry Potter, like not so much in the magic aspect, but in the fact that there's a school, for kids, teaching them how to be a certain, way, and then one is picked at the end. So it sounds really fun, and this is our only cover.
Next up, we have Wonder Woman number 14. This is our first issue of the all-in of Wonder Woman, and like we repeat every time, it's not a new number one,
Right.
it's not a reboot, it's not any of that. This is just at the beginning of a new story arc where you can come into it and be caught right up and ready to go. So it's just an invitation to jump on board of Wonder Woman.
And we highly recommend that you do because it's been a great series and it's gonna get even crazier right
Yeah,
here.
so I've been catching up with Wonder Woman. I'm right up till this moment. And let me tell you, I previewed a copy of this and it is you're not emotionally ready for this issue of Wonder Woman. So, in this, Steve Trevor takes the fight the of Sovereign takes the fight to him with deadly consequences. And if you've been reading it, you know kind of it's they've really highlighted the relationship between Wonder Woman and Steve Trevor and kind of what that relationship, how it works and everything when you have Wonder Woman who's so powerful and they're separated for a lot of the book, but Steve Trevor wants to get involved, but let's say it's not going to go very well for him, and this is a very sad issue, but also behold the birth of Trinity.
So a happy issue also.
So a happy issue, but
Bittersweet.
yeah. So we've been reading Trinity like for basically this whole series, but we still don't know the origin. When they say it's the daughter of Wonder Woman, it's all this. What does that mean? It will all be explained in this issue as you get the origin story of Trinity.
Yeah.
And do we know her full name?
Yeah. Lizzie, I want to say Masterson, because she was they named her after the creator.
Yeah.
Shoot, Walter Martin Masterson.
Yeah.
William Martin Masterson. I
Yeah.
think. Prince. I think so. It's like Elizabeth Marston Prince, I believe, is what it is.
She says the name in here, and I can't guarantee that's the name she says. She maybe has a different last name. I'm not sure.
Well, I might be wrong too. I don't
Yeah.
remember.
But anyways,
Yeah.
you'll have to find out here, and maybe some origins for some other things that have appeared in this series. You'll have to find out. There's a couple other lassos that have been mentioned.
That's right.
What are those all about? All that to say, pick up Wonder Woman. It is fantastic.
It's really
It
good.
could be one of my. I mean, it's definitely one of my favorite books coming out of DC. But overall, I think this is such a like, heavy literature type story. It's got a lot of emotional beats and all of that. So that is great. So we've got our A cover right here. We also have a Sampere variant, which I'm guessing that's Baby Trinity. We also have a David Nakayama variant. We have a Kelly Jones Trick or Treat variant. And we have a Daniel Sampere all-in foil variant.
Yeah, this one, I'm super excited for this. I cannot wait. This is one of my favorite books, and Tom King has said that the Sovereign story is going to go through issue 20, but that there are plans for, like, he plans to be on the book for a long time, and he's already got so many plans for stories beyond issue 20, and this is only number 14. Daniel Sampere, I think, is going to stick around, so this is one for the ages. Well, speaking of all in books, this is Green Lantern number 16. This is the first issue of Green Lantern in this new all in era. In this one, Hal, John, and Guy, they're trying to unlock the mystery of the Dark Star resurrection and what that might mean for Kilowog. Because if you read the first issue of this series, you know that Kilowog maybe needs a resurrection. They're also going to have to figure out how to battle an entire planet because the Red Rage of Mogo. So Mogo, the giant planet Green Lantern, I guess is now our Red Lantern, but the Red Rage of Mogo rains down on our heroes as the Civil Core heats up. And yeah, like you said,
check out that Civil Core one shot that's coming out right before this.
Yeah, it's not out yet, but
it's not out yet. But if you're wondering about Kilowog, Mogo, that's where you'll get your answers for that.
Yeah, so that's all going to make sense. Because when I saw this, I was like, wait a minute, I feel like, because I'm caught up on this, and I feel like there's a lot there that hasn't been addressed yet, but it's going to be in that. So yeah, definitely don't miss that issue and then grab this one. And real quick too, so if you'll notice, if you're interested in all these all-in books, if you'll notice sort of the trade dress, all of the A covers for all these new all-in books, they're all white backgrounds with just a nice image of the character. You'll see the new old Bullet logo. You'll see the all-in branding. So if you want to jump on these when they come out in October, look for that trade dress. Look for that branding. That'll be the start of all these new story arcs. Again, no reboots, no resets, no undone continuity, nothing like that. Just new story arcs, and all the covers for them are going to look like this. So I'm super excited. So this is our A cover. There is a Chris Samney variant. There's a John Timms variant, which I think looks great.
Yeah.
And a Daniel Sampere foil variant. And all of these issues all have these foil variants. Daniel Sampere did the artwork. They're blank white with just foil, like images of the characters. They look great too.
Next up, now we have Titans number 16, which is our all-in start for Titans. And what is special about this is actually a new creative team on Titans with issue 16 of John Layman and art by Pete Woods, which I'm very excited about this. So this is definitely, it is continuing the storyline because after Absolute Power, they must come to terms with their inability to stop and control Amanda Waller until she did the Absolute Power thing and stripped away the powers and all of that, because they had multiple kind of chances along the way. She was mostly targeting the Titans earlier on with Beast World and all of that, and they failed to do that, and it's kind of their responsibility that all of that happened. And the consequences will be felt throughout the hero community for a long time. But as we look forward in this series, I looked ahead a couple issues. They do also talk about that the roster is going to be growing. We're going to be getting new Titans.
Nice.
So I'm very excited for what is coming with Titans and the new creative team. I think sounds great. So we've got our A cover here by Pete Woods. That's your interior artist. We have a Rafa Sandoval variant.
That's great.
We have a Zhang Jiang cover. A Kelly Jones Trick or Treat variant. And our Daniel Sampere all-in variant as well.
This is Catwoman number 69. This is by the new creative team of Torin Grombeck and Fabiana Mascolo. Andy and I looked through this just right before we started doing this, and visually it looks really cool. The story looks interesting. I can't wait to check this one out. So this, again, you see the trade dress there, the first issue of this new all-in era of books, the first Catwoman issue of the new all-in era. So there is an attempt that was made on Selena Kyle's life, but she doesn't know who ordered it or why they did it.
You saw that happen when we looked through it.
Right.
When I showed you, it was
like, oh yeah,
that.
So
let's see. Maybe someone got in the way of that attempt.
That attempt was crazy. Yeah. So to find out the answers to who did this and why, she's going to have to re-enter the world of a sinister international crime syndicate that years ago helped her become the world's most foremost thief that she is today. So that should be really cool. And like we said, visually this looks really cool too. Looks like, did you say it was kind of like a little bit like old, like maybe like 90s, like old school Batman Catwoman stuff?
Yeah, and almost like something you would think would be like a black label.
Oh right, that's
the art is is a little bit more like a mature art
Yeah,
style.
yeah,
Really, really cool, especially if you um, like crime stuff. Almost like I don't want to say it looks like Sean Phillips, but a thing you could imagine like Brubaker writing
yeah,
and that kind of
yeah.
dark noir style, the seedy crime of Gotham. So I think that's exactly the channel they should be going down with Catwoman. She's so good with all the crime
Yeah.
and dealing with all the syndicates in Gotham. So this is really cool.
And I'm not caught up on Catwoman, so I'm looking forward to starting with this because it's a new story arc. So I can't wait to jump in on this one. So that's our A cover. There is a Frank Cho variant, and there is an Omer variant, and then there is the Daniel Sampere all in foil variant.
Is this a new costume or kind of a?
Um,
It looks like
it's a
they're.
little bit of a modification.
I
She
think so. Yeah.
because of the open, not trying you, but because of the open chest, I don't think that was there before. She did have like openings under the arms, but it
Yeah.
was more covered. So it's close to what it is now, but it looks altered a little bit. And it looks like she's got like a little bit of a jacket or something on.
Yeah. It's like a really cropped
Yeah.
jacket. Next up, we have the Avengers number 19. And why are we talking about Avengers number 19? Because this starts a new story arc where Doom is going up against the Avengers. Doom against Earth's mightiest heroes is kind of the tagline for this. And what I'm excited about is, you don't really see it on the cover. That Doom looks kind of regular Doom, but you'll see on one of the variants that, Doom is still the Sorcerer Supreme after Blood Hunt. And we know we are leading to One World Under Doom, the big event coming next year. And I think this is where we're going to start seeing some of the seeds planted
Hmm.
to eventually get there because now that Doom has this much power, he's kind of the top dog in the Marvel Universe and he is going to be putting the Avengers to the test about seeing like what is the purpose of the Avengers because for so long the Avengers job was like to stop Doom, but now that that role has reversed, why are they there? And they seem like such good people, but he's going to show them their dark past and kind of turn that back on them. So I'm really excited about this kind of new era of Doom
Oh
in
yeah,
the
for
Marvel
sure.
universe because he's such a great, complex character.
Yeah, and I'm looking forward to this issue because now that Doom is the new Sorcerer Supreme, but although it didn't happen that long ago, but he hasn't really done anything yet. We haven't really seen him
Yeah.
since that happened. So now we're like you said, we're going to start seeing some of that in this. So that's why I'm looking forward to this.
Yeah, so if you want to, I imagine this is probably another good jumping on point for Avengers now that we're getting into the Doom stuff. So here is your A cover. We also have a Paco Medina cover, and you see right there that is Doom with his garb of
Hmm.
Sorcerer Supreme. And then we also have a this is the Todd Knock Doom variant, which they're doing Doom variants for a lot of the books,
Right.
but Doom's actually
Yeah,
in this,
it
so it's
fits
just
with this
kind
one.
of
Yeah.
like, yeah, this is also just a regular cover.
And they announced today, it's not in this issue, but they did announce that very soon a Black Cat apparently is joining the Avengers too.
Interesting.
So, not like I said, not here, but
Makes sense.
it,
Jed McKay had a really great run on
it
Black
was really
Cat.
good. Yeah.
And we know coming up very soon, Spider-Man is going to be working for Doctor Doom
Yeah.
in some weird capacity.
Hmm.
So
Lots
get
of
ready. You're going
yeah,
to be seeing
lots
a
of Doom
lot of
stuff.
Doom.
Yeah. Well, this is Nightwing number 118. Now, this is not the first issue of Nightwing in the All-In era. This got delayed a little bit, I guess, but I don't know why. This is actually the final issue of Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo's run of Nightwing, and it's the last part of the Fallen Grayson storyline. In this one, Nightwing has finally overcome his fear of heights, and he returns to Bloodhaven for a final showdown with Heartless and Tony Zuko. So if you've been reading it, don't miss this last issue of this story arc and of their epic run. I'm just not really sure why it's not coming out till why is this coming out alongside some other all in stuff? Like
Yeah.
this should have come out September, and then Nightwing 119 should. So I don't know what happened with the scheduling on that one, but we just want to let you know that it's on FOC this weekend, so don't miss it. If you thought you did, you haven't. So pre-order this weekend.
That's why I wanted to spotlight this for multiple reasons. One, it's the end of a seminal run on
Yeah.
the character, and also, we'll be talking about the new Nightwing
Mhm.
coming up in the next couple of weeks. Just wanted to talk about the previous one is coming to a close. There may have been some scheduling mix-ups, or they may have been given a little bit more time to flesh out this
Yeah.
ending because it has been so popular, but it is finally coming to a close.
Yep.
And seems like in a big way.
Yeah, for sure. So this is our A cover. We have a Jamal Campbell variant. We have a Bruno Redondo variant. There is a Serge Acuna variant, which I love this. That is so good with Dick and Babs. And then there's a Nicholas Scott variant with all the different...
And Nightwing's butt.
Right, caked up Nightwing.
But yeah, also it talks about in this that, Bloodhaven will never be the same, all
Mhm.
that. I'm really interested in what is going to happen. So when the new one starts, what is the status quo
Right.
of all of the characters involved? It's going to be really cool.
And the new arc by Dan Waters and Dexter Soy, I cannot wait for that. They released some preview art or some covers from Dexter Soy, and it looks awesome. So
Yeah.
lots of good stuff for Nightwing coming.
Next up, we got notable 2s and 3s, and there's a lot of these. This is the heaviest part of the show because so many things have just started, and we got to continue with those. Starting with Dazzler number 2, number 1 just came out, and we're seeing a very familiar Eras tour that Dazzler is going on, and this time she is heading to London. And what I'm really excited about this issue is it says, but when a live studio session goes dangerously awry, it's up to Domino and Strong Guy to shine. So we're going to be getting some quality Strong Guy and Domino stuff going on. And that's, I really like number 1. I thought it was really fun. But the supporting cast in this is awesome. Yeah. So I can't wait to see more of this.
You couldn't have worked any Taylor Swift songs into this?
Maybe she'll meet a London boy.
There
nice. We go. So this is our A cover by Terry Dodson. We also have this Lucas Wernick Stormbreakers variant. And then we have a Pablo Villalobos variant as well. Wait till I do my review of this.
Okay.
And then everyone can find all of the rest of the...
For the first issue, on his notes over here, he had all these, highlighted in green, all these different Taylor Swift song titles. It was very well done. Very, very well thought out,
I worked it in and I tried not to make it feel like I was, awkwardly shoving in.
I didn't pick up on any of it, so I thought it was the nice, perfect little level of subtlety.
Okay, good.
All right, we've got Spirits of Vengeance number 2, and in this one, we saw Vengeance came back last issue, but what has resparked Vengeance's wrathful flame, and who will be the next object of its deadly gaze? Plus, Johnny Blaze finds himself way in over his head. We saw a little bit of that in the first issue, but not too much. It was mostly about Vengeance, so I don't know what Johnny Blaze has gotten himself into, and I just noticed on the cover, that's like flesh,
it's a very disturbing cover.
I just noticed that. That's crazy. So yeah, if you got the first issue, don't miss the second one. This is our A cover, and then there's a Mark Bagley variant with Vengeance.
Vengeance is probably mad because someone used him as a scarecrow.
That's true.
I would also be angry. Next up, we have Conquest 2099 number 2. We have not got number 1 yet, but very excited about this. I like the previous Annihilation 2099. I like these new characters they brought into it. And this is continuing. It says, what are the death spiders from deep space? So that's one mystery going on. Dracula's war on Spider-Woman's people has begun. And the X-Men 2099 and Nova 2099, which, if you are familiar, it's, at this time you should probably know that the new Nova is Wolverine. It's cool that they're together. Take on another battle on another front. And Silver Surfer 2099 is going to appear in this, as well as the first appearance of Web Weaver 2099.
Oh.
So many. And the first one is the first appearance of Spider Bite 2099.
Spider Side
2099. Mm-hmm. So it looks like they're also introducing a lot of new ancillary Spider characters.
Yeah.
But the 2099 version. So very cool. We've got our A cover right here. We have a Ken Lashley. This is going to be the frame variant. They just don't have the frame on it right here.
I love that Cyclops design. That's
it's a little
so
bit
cool.
like, I don't know, Age of Apocalypse.
A little bit, yeah.
Futuristic.
Mm-hmm. It's like if Age of Apocalypse Cyclops had just gotten a haircut. Yeah. That's what it looks like.
As he should have. And we also have a Pete Woods variant.
Well, this is Wolverine Revenge number 3. We have not gotten number 2 yet. Is that next week? Mm-hmm. Okay, so we'll be talking about number 2 on Monday. Number 1 was awesome. And going in, I didn't know how much different this was going to be until I read number 1, and some big things happened that made me realize, this is
really explosive things.
Yeah, it's like, this is its own thing. So there's no telling what'll happen in this series. So in this one, Wolverine's quest for vengeance leads him from old friends to old enemies, and it just says you'll never guess where this one leads. And they are right, because like I said, this is its own story, free of any other continuity. I probably won't guess. I have no idea what to expect out of this, although maybe he's going to fight Colossus.
Yeah.
But yeah, so great first issue. Cannot wait to read the second one. And this is the third. So there is our A cover. We have a red band. So yeah, there's a red band version, polybag, just like Blood Hunt was. There's a Andre Bresson variant and Marco Mastrazo, which that one looks really cool.
Yeah, which Omega Red was in the first issue.
Right.
So hope we see some more of. This is all about Wolverine getting revenge for something that happened in the first one. I can't wait to see his fight on each of the people that he needs to take revenge on.
And at first, when I first heard about it, I was like, oh, they just needed a catchy title, Wolverine Revenge. And then after reading the first one, I was like, oh, that's why it's called Revenge. Okay, that makes total sense.
Yep. Next up, we have Spider Society number 3 of 4. So this is just a short little 4-issue miniseries. And in this one, we have Weapon 8, who's the Spider character on the cover, stands alone against the Sinister Squadron. So just continues on with this new Spider Society series. This is our A cover. We also have a Jan Bazaldua variant and a Megan Hetrick variant, which anything with Gwen on it, I love.
Yeah. Next is X Factor number 3. Number 2 came out this week, and we talked about that a little bit. In this one, X Factor goes to the moon. A computer-controlled lunar base has gone out of control, and how can Havoc and Frenzy stop a foe that can predict the team's every move? And then I love this. Does the key to victory lie within the team's most mysterious new member, Granny Smite? We saw her just a little bit in the second issue. She didn't really do much, so I don't really know what her deal is. I don't know if she's even new or not, or if she was, if she was doing stuff on Krakoa or not. But I'll be interested to see what, does she come in? Does she fly to the moon and save the team? That'd be really cool.
She might have been a member of Hellions. I'm not positive, but it sounds familiar.
So this is our A cover. We have a Marcus Toe Pyro variant. There's a Pete Woods Doom variant. And then there is a Russell Dodman variant with Polaris. She's had a lot of different looks.
Yeah, very drastically different looks. Next up, we have Venom War Lethal Protectors number 2 of 3. And get ready, because in this one, we had it in the first one, but Silver Symbiote, which is, of course, Silver Sable, also got a symbiote. I'm wondering if this is going to be everyone gets a symbiote, and then at the end of Venom War, no one has a symbiote anymore.
I think maybe. I kind of feel like, we don't know yet, but I feel like Venom War may be a way for them to be like, all right, let's rein it in a little bit with all the symbiotes, So.
Yeah, just like how that Spider-Verse, the end of the Spider-Verse was the end of the Spider-Verse.
Except it wasn't.
Except it wasn't. But you see, like on the cover, we've got Scorpion with his own symbiote, everything. So we've got. It sounds really fun, though, and it also has the new Wild Pack becomes lethal and horrifying symbiote squad.
Well, we saw that last issue, though.
Yeah, but you're gonna see it again and even more.
It was cool when Silver Sable got her symbiote in the last issue. She, she was very against it, but when it happened, she's like, "Oh, that's what this feels like," So she's kind of into it.
So we've got our A cover right here, and we have a Kendrick Lim variant as well.
This is the Body Trade number 2. The first one came out this week, and it was really interesting. And this one, he, desperate for answers about his son's missing body, Kim comes face to face with the corporation that took his son's body, and lots of others. But what's weird is they know everything about Kim and just how much he has to lose. So we did get the impression in the first issue that this corporation that comes in and tells all these mourning people who are in mourning that if you'll donate your loved one's body to us for science, we'll pay for medical bills and funerals. But then we got this feeling there was a little bit something more sinister to them, and it sounds like that may be the case. So interesting book, and this is our only cover.
Next one, we have Spawn Violator number 2 of 6. Now, very interesting. This last week, if you saw around, it looked like Spawn Violator number 1 was supposed to come out this week. Something weird with the scheduling happened where actually there's 3 covers for Spawn Violator number 1. The C cover, which is the Todd McFarlane one, came out. That was officially released on Wednesday. But covers A and B do not release until next Wednesday. So if you're wondering where is Spawn Violator #1, if you signed up for the C cover, you got that, but the A cover will come out next week, and we'll do our review of it next week. But just a little weird thing. Don't know why.
Yeah.
One cover came out a week before the next one. Just some weird scheduling thing.
I guess Todd McFarlane was like, "That's my cover. I want it out
Yeah.
early. Go ahead and do what you got to do."
But with issue #2, we have Kyle Hotz now doing the art for this issue. Each issue is going to be done by a different artist. I think he's a perfect fit for this. As the newly banished to Earth Violator finds himself up against the savage Viking spawn of that era.
Okay, so I was gonna say I don't know who that is on the cover, but he looks awesome, and I get it's like Viking spawn.
Yeah,
sold.
I'm very excited about reading this. I think this is a super interesting kind of origin story for a character that's really bad. So we've got our A cover right here, and we have a Jay Geldof variant as well.
Next is Dark Empty Void #2. In this one, the team that created the black hole in the first issue, and there was a mysterious young girl that came out of it. Well, they set off on a mission to take her back to the center of it. But as they enter the black hole, they enter this strange world that contains this surreal alien life. And they're going to find out why the other teams never came out. So I guess there's other teams that went in, or they're going to find out why didn't they come back. So you liked the first one.
I did.
Yeah.
I thought the first one was really cool.
Yeah, so the second one is on FOC this weekend, and this is our only cover.
Next up, we have Jenny Sparks, #3 of 6, speaking of Tom King. And in this one, it's very cool. You can see on the cover, the Justice League arrives, but Jenny Sparks warns them about Captain Atom, about how dangerous he truly is. But, of course, the Justice League doesn't really want to listen to her.
Yeah.
So let's see how that goes for them. We've got our A cover right here, and we have a Christian Ward variant.
This is Multiversus Collision Detection #3. #1 came out this week. It was a lot of fun. And in this one, I'll just read. It says Metropolis's newest citywide battle has everything. It's got Green Lantern. It's got Hawkeye. It's got a child with his gem on his Hawk Girl. Did I say Hawkeye?
Yeah.
Oh, my bad. Green Lantern and Hawk Girl. And a child with a gem on his shiny round tum tum. And I'm guessing that's Steven Universe right there. And a sprite-sized Dark Knight. I'm guessing that's Batmite?
Maybe.
And the Head. It says it's that thing where Brainiac's code gets overwritten by an inebriated scientist who couldn't be bothered to hang around for the entire issue. So just more madcap fun. I laughed at the first one. I thought it was really funny, and but we didn't get. It was mostly just Batman, Superman, and Wonder Woman. We only got one extra character right at the end. So be looking forward to this one when they're deep in it. So this is our A cover by Dan Moore, so that looks great. I love the homage, and then there is a Joel Ojeda variant with a bunch more characters.
Next up, we've got cool covers. Checking it out with Superman Action Comics #1071. We're continuing on our weekly Action Comics we're going to have for a while. And
3 months.
3 months.
Yeah.
So Superman is trapped in the Phantom Zone that his father created. And in this, Superman finds himself helpless before the dreaded Phantom King. That's who I couldn't remember for the first one that has their face wrapped and everything. Yeah. That's Phantom King.
Okay.
So I'm very excited about this. It sounds really cool. Plus, we have the backup story with Supergirl. So, yeah, all on board for the all-in era of Action Comics.
Yeah, this is the second issue of Action Comics in the all-in era. Number 1070 is the first. That was already on FOC. And we're going to be talking about these probably every week because, like we said, it's weekly for the rest of the year, which is awesome.
So, this is your A cover. We also have a Wes Craig variant and a Steven Subic variant.
This is Batman Superman World's Finest #32. Number 31 came out this week. It was so good. And in this one, the battle with Eclipso continues. But Batman and Superman, they're kind of having a tough time taking him on. So they are going to need reinforcements. Now, the solicitation says it's the world's finest debut of the Justice League. That doesn't make any sense to me. With the way that the last issue ended, to this week's issue ended, I think maybe they mean the world's finest debut of the Justice Society. Okay. Because it says Justice League, but at the beginning of issue 31, we already have Batman and Superman and Green Arrow and Green Lantern, Black Canary and Wonder Woman.
The Justice League?
I don't know,
Or
but
are they like the brave and the bold at
I,
that point?
I don't know, but it's weird to say the Justice League and not the Justice Society when the Justice Society was that was kind of like a surprise at the end of this.
Okay.
So spoilers, I guess. But so I no, I don't know if it's Justice League, Justice Society, what, but either one would be great. It's fantastic. So this is our A cover by Dan Moore, and there's a Danny Earls variant.
Next up, we have X-Men number 6. And this one sounds really cool, where Temper and Magic, there's been some stuff going on, not anywhere outside, but in their new home in Alaska. So there is more secrets and more stuff going on in this small town than they originally realized, and they must hit the streets of Merle, Alaska for answers. So I like how it kind of goes like big team, little team,
Mm-hmm.
big story, and then let's pull it back and do some stuff around their headquarters. So we've got this is our Derek Chu Magneto cover. And we have a Roge Antonio Doom variant.
And I love the portals.
Yeah.
Oh, that's so good. Next up is Dark Knights of Steel Allwinter number 4. This is a 6-issue series, so we're crossing the halfway mark with this one. And this one, Slade and Alec battle their way through the frozen Badlands in search of the Dark Wizard who commands the Allwinter. And they've made a point of talking about that before, how it's been just winter for so long in this land. So they're trying to find out what's going on with that. But will the truth of their past bring them together or tear them apart? So I do think Alec is going to have something to do with ending the Allwinter when we get there. But this has been a great series. Number 3 came out this week. I did not get a chance to read it yet, but I want to because it's great. And this is the Reiko Murakami variant.
It was cold.
Right.
Next up, we have Destro number 5. This is the final issue of our Destro miniseries and the final issue of our G.I. Joe standalone stories before we get to the actual G.I. Joe series. So in this one, Destro, Cobra Commander, and the Crimson Twins are at war, but only one can win. And I feel like the win is going to be Cobra Commander says, I won't destroy you if you come and work for me.
Right.
We'll have to see exactly how it goes, but I'm very excited about this and to be getting into G.I. Joe number 1, which we should be talking about in the next few weeks.
Yeah, it comes out in November, so it'll be another couple weeks before we start talking about it.
But not too long away. And this is your B cover, which is the Sanford Green variant.
This is Epitaphs from the Abyss number 4. And not a whole lot of information about the different stories in this. We just know it's a horror anthology, different creative teams. There's going to be 3 stories, one by Jay Holtham and Raoul Allen, one by Amy Roy and Claire Rowe, and one by Jay Stevens and David Lapham. No idea what the stories are going to be, but they're probably going to be awesome because all of the other ones have been great too. Number 3 came out this week, and I love this book and this type of book, so it should be cool. This is our James Stokoe variant.
And next up, we got graphic novels and more. It's some really good ones this week, starting with Injustice: Gods Among Us Compendium number 1. This is a trade paperback. And, everybody knows Injustice. It's based off of the video game, but it had such a life of its own in the comics that lasted longer than kind of the lifespan of the game.
Didn't the comic come first?
It was just a tie-in with the game.
Oh, okay. I thought the comic came.
It was a digital comic that came out around the same time as the.
But I thought that came out first, and then the game came. I thought they made the game based on the comic.
No, the comic's based off the game.
Okay.
And yeah, wildly popular, and the comic is fantastic. This is Tom Taylor and Bruno Redondo and so many other people, and this actually collects Injustice 1 through 12 plus the annual, Year 2 1 through 12 and the annual, and Year 3 1 through 12 and the annual.
Holy cow, that's a lot.
That's a lot of stuff.
Mm-hmm.
And all of that for only $59.99. So that's a lot.
Yeah, for sure. This is DC Finest, Green Lantern, The Defeat of Green Lantern. So this is DC's new line of books, very similar to Marvel's Epic Collections. DC Finest is doing something similar with a bunch of different titles. And there's going to be a bunch of these coming out over the next few weeks and months. And just all range of different stuff from like Silver Age stuff to, I think there's a Bronze Age Plastic Man. And there's all kinds of stuff coming in this branding. So this one, it's going to be $39.99. and it's going to collect Green Lantern, the original, or not the original, but like the Silver Age Green Lantern, Hal Jordan number 19 through 39, Flash number 143, and Brave and the Bold number 59. And in this one, we get stories where Hal Jordan faces off against Star Sapphire, Dr. Light, the Time Commander, Sinestro, and more. So just a whole bunch of really cool Silver Age Green Lantern stuff all collected here.
And we also have a Justice Society of America for America and Democracy. And this is really cool. Talk about some classic stuff. This contains stories from the winter of 1940 to September of 1942. So All-Star Comics 3 through 12. So you are getting to the early days of superhero comics.
That's golden age right there.
Yeah, just barely past Superman's first appearance. So really, really cool. And yeah, this is going to be like all of these $39.99.
Sorry, this is really cool. So this is the Bruce Wayne Murderer turned Fugitive Omnibus. So this is going to be $125 and collects the entire. There was two different storylines that butted up against each other. There was the Bruce Wayne Murderer storyline, and then there was the Bruce Wayne Fugitive storyline from back in late 90s, early 2000s, I think is the time frame for that. In the story, if you don't know, Bruce Wayne is found with the dead body of Vesper Fairchild in his arms, and he's arrested for murder. And it's going to take the combined might of the Bat family to try to solve this mystery and prove his innocence. So yeah, just the whole thing. I think it's been collected before in two separate things, but they're putting it all together in one big book for $125.
And next up, we have Thundercats Volume 1. So if you've been waiting to read this all together, this is going to collect 1 through 5 of Declan Shalvey and Drew Moss's recent Dynamite run that is continuing on even now, plus the gallery of variant covers. And there was about 10,000 of those. So
Dynamite likes their variant covers.
Yeah,
for sure.
So this is actually going to be well worth it for, let's see, this is $19.99.
This is the Crisis on Infinite Earths number 7 Facsimile edition. Just collect, they've been doing all of these so far. This is a classic cover. The next issue is the one where Flash dies. Spoiler alert. So it's going to be just really cool to have this in, a new printing. And there's going to be, just like the other ones, a blank variant and a foil variant as well. I cannot wait to have that in foil.
Yeah, probably one of the greatest covers of all time.
Definitely.
Just super powerful.
Homaged so many times.
Oh, yeah. Everybody has been holding everybody in that.
They even homaged it in the Crisis on Infinite Earths animated movie, Part 3. They did a little thing to this.
Okay, next up we have Wolverine number 1, the second printing of the fantastic first issue. I can't wait for number 2, but this is the Patrick Gleason cover, which was originally there's the foil version of this cover, and the 1 in 100 was a version of this. Now you can get this as just the regular cover.
And this is The Moon is Following Us number 1, second print. The first issue came out this week. It's so good, and they're already on a second printing because Daniel Warren Johnson, Riley Rossmo, Mike Spicer. That's all you need. A little bit of equal parts fantasy, sci-fi. This married couple trying to get their daughter back. They're in this fantasy world, but there's also sci-fi elements, and then you see why that is at the end of the issue. So good. I mean, it's just so good. So if you missed it the first time, or if you missed it this week, here's your second print.
And next up, we got to continue on with our other printings of Void Rivals because they keep doing these awesome covers for them. So this is Void Rivals number 10, second printing with one of your leaders. I don't remember which side leader he is. Usually they wear helmets.
He was Derek's.
Yeah.
So I think, isn't that his dad?
Yes. Then we have number 8, the second printing with Handroid, one of the best characters.
My favorite character in the series, yeah.
So sassy. And we have number 9, which is just awesome with Springer and his awesome sword that he just wreaked havoc with. And that is it for Comics from the Future. So thank you so much for watching. Remember, head over to infinityflux.net right now where you can place your pre-orders for these awesome books so you don't miss out on any of them, whether you shop in-store or online. These will be ready for you in a few weeks when they are released. So just a couple little things. Check out our previous live video we did on Wednesday. It was our 4th episode of our Infinity Flux Letters page on YouTube. It'll either be on our home screen on our channel or go to the lives tab and you can watch that back. We just answer a bunch of your questions,
Yep.
talk about news, all that kind of fun stuff, a little bit more casual than some of these videos. And then we've got our show coming up on Monday where we have read a lot of the big books coming out next week and we're going to report on them, tell you what we think, and get you better informed
Yeah.
for when you go into your local comic book shop. And anything else?
Batman Day is tomorrow,
Yes.
the 21st of September. If you're local, come by the shop. We'll have Richard Starkings here from 12 to 1. Or is it 12 to 1?
12 to 1.
12 to
Yep.
1. Yeah, Richard Starkings will be here. He worked on a lot of the Long Halloween books. He'll be signing some stuff. There's going to be Batman Day specific books that you can pick up. Of course, the whole day lasts 11 to 6, but Richard will be here from 12 to 1. And yeah, so it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yeah, and if you aren't local, you can go on our website and get all the stuff there. All the special books, all of that are available
Yep.
while supplies last. So, unless there's anything else,
We're good.
we will see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.